With the release of Dragon Ball Super Superhero last year, obviously the Piccolo hype train is back. So while everyone is still aboard the Piccolo hype train, I just wanted to take the chance to discuss some things regarding the Namekians in Dragon Ball. Who exactly was the nameless Namekian, and why is he so powerful? Just kidding. There's plenty of videos about that guy. The actual first thing I want to talk about is the job of Guardian of the Earth. That job, as of right now at least, is essentially a Namekian job, but it didn't used to be. Can't Dende be the creator of the Earth's Dragon Balls and not be the Guardian of Earth? If you think about it, Dende was just a child when he was told that he would be taking up the position. Are we sure bro wants to really hang out with Mr. Popo for the rest of his life? And what happens if he decides to leave the job? Does Mr. Popo have to search for a new Guardian? Is there a contest that he has to hold for the role? Ignoring all the potential child labor law violations, let's talk about that previous Guardian that came before Kami. In the manga, he's only briefly mentioned, but in the anime, this character is shown in Kami's backstory. Hold on, pause. Let's take a side quest real quick. The anime filler says that the opponent that the nameless Namekian is fighting is Garlic, the father of Garlic Jr. But let's have some fun and ignore that answer and assume that it's someone else. I know obviously the other guy doesn't matter since he lost the fight anyways. But when you look at it, the nameless Namekian is pretty powerful in comparison to any Earthling we've seen up until that point. To have the balls to step up and get absolutely humiliated in front of God. I think it's time we make that man canon, Toriyama. In the anime and the manga, Kami says that back when he used to be the nameless Namekian, he was told that he couldn't be Earth's protector because he had a darkness in him. So he decided to just split the darkness out of him, which, that alone is already some insane thing to do for a job. But he eventually does become Earth's protector and chooses to not end Demon King Piccolo's life because he would die too, and humans need to solve their own problems. That's some BS when you think about it. Like, why didn't bro have a plan for capturing his evil self before he did the split? What I'm really trying to get at is that for Kami to do all of that and make himself dramatically weaker than he used to be, the previous Guardian had to be stronger, or at least magically superior in some way, to the nameless Namekian, right? Let me explain why I feel that way. Y'all remember the movie Kung Fu Panda? You remember that scene where Tai Lung was putting in the work to try to get the Dragon Scroll? And after grinding day and night, he stood there all proud and ready like he was about to be Employee of the Month? And then Oogway looked bro straight in the eyes and just said, no. His reasoning was the same as the reason for Kami, that Tai Lung had a darkness in him. Tai Lung was flabbergasted, and unlike Kami, because he had that dog in him, he decided to just try to take it. And what did we see? We saw that Oogway got the 2-piece spicy combo, those feng shui fingers, you know? If you trained your whole life for one job, and the owner instantly tells you to head on over to Indeed.com and submit your resume somewhere else, he has to know he can humble you, bro. And that's why I think the guy has to at least be on par strength-wise, or have some kind of magical power that evens the odds. Or else, why would the nameless Namekian go through all the trouble? He could have just not listened to him and decided he would do better at the job and just replaced him by force. Alright, let's talk about some Namekians other than Kamikolo. In Dragon Ball Super Superhero, Shenron basically tells Piccolo that when he was granting his wish, he grabbed a little extra that was just laying around. Excuse me? Since when was that a thing? And can Porunga do the same? Because, you know, Porunga used to be stronger wish-wise before Shenron was upgraded by Dende to match Porunga, but then we found out that Mori upgraded Porunga even more. So could he do the same, or potentially even do something greater than Shenron can do now? Also, speaking of Mori, why didn't Guru fuse with him before he died? Nail was on the verge of death and was still able to fuse with Piccolo. Mori was not that strong and could have definitely used the massive boost a fusion would do if he was expected to be the new leader of the entire generation of Namekians. I think that if you're going to be the Namekian Grand Elder, you should probably fuse with the chosen next leader so that there's someone with enough power to, create the next generation if they have to. Plus, fusion would allow the knowledge of the previous elders to be passed down like the Avatar state where you got them all able to help the next one. Honestly, now that I look back, I used to think that Piccolo was just so much better than all the other Namekians, power-wise and everything. But when I look at it, I think I've come to realize that Piccolo might just be the first Namekian who ever accepted a fusion willingly. Anyways, that's just some of my thoughts on the Namekians. Whatever the true answers are, we'll never know, because characters in Dragon Ball never seem to care about their past until it shows up and tries to fire a laser at their face. Like and subscribe and all that other stuff successful YouTubers say. If you're still listening, my favorite Dragon Ball hero is Piccolo, and my favorite villain is Cell.